Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. So, before reading, let's invoke the blessing of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjalishalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Nama Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ishvara Parama Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha अनादिरादिर गोविंदः सर्व कारण कारणम। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So devotees, today we'll be reading 30 minutes. Maybe we will divide both the time in two books. So we'll be reading Trinadapi Sunichina book by Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj. Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Humility is needed is chapter name and page number 52. Glorify a pure devotee. Mukunda Das is a pure and dear devotee of Krishna. Both father and son are Krishna Bhaktas. Mukunda Das, though, never demands respect from his son. Okay, just 1 minute. Let me check. What do you think? Devotees, just give me 1 minute. Hare Krishna devotee. Glorify a pure devotee. Mukunda Das is a pure and dear devotee of Krishna. Both father and son are Krishna Bhaktas. Mukunda Das, though, never demands respect from his son that I am father and he is my son. If he demands respect, he cannot pay respect to his son. I am father and I demand respect. However, a pure devotee of Krishna, being a pure devotee of Krishna, Mukunda Das is not demanding respect. Amani Manada. His son was also a great devotee, a pure devotee. So when Mahaprabhu asked, are you the father and is Raghunandan your son? Or is Raghunandan the father and you are his son? Mukunda Das replied, मुकुंद काहे रघुनंदन मोरा पिता है, आम्ही तार पुत्रा ई अमारा निश्चय. आम्हा सबारा कृष्णा भक्ती रघुनंदन हायते, अतेवे पिता रघुनंदन अमारा निश्चित. Since his son Raghunandan was a very dear devotee of Krishna, Mukundadas gave up Abhinaman that he is the father and Raghunandan is his son. Rather, he said, Raghunandan Mora Pita hai, Amitara Putra. O Mahaprabhu, Raghunandan is my father and I am his son. We have all developed Krishna Bhakti because of Raghunandan. He is a dear devotee, pure devotee of Krishna. Therefore, Raghunandan is my father. He gave the perfect answer. Hearing this proper decision, Mahaprabhu became very, very pleased. Then Mahaprabhu explained the qualification of a real guru or real father. Suni harshe kahe Prabhu, kahile nischaya, yana haite Krishna bhakti sei guru haya. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed it, saying, yes, it is correct. One who awakens devotion to Krishna is certainly the spiritual master. Mahaprabhu always glorifies the devotee. He becomes mad after glorification of the devotees. Bhaktere Mahima Prabhu kahite paya sukha. Bhaktera Mahima kahite haya panchamukha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy just to speak of the glories of his devotees. Indeed, when he speaks of their glories, it was as if he had hundreds of faces. Sadhu Gurus Acharya have said, Vaishnavera Guna Gan Korile Jivara Tarana. Sunyache Sadhu Guru Mukhe. I have heard from the lips of Sadhu Guru. If you glorify Sadhu Vaishnava, a pure devotee of Krishna, definitely you will develop Krishna Bhakti and you will be delivered from the clutches of Maya. Therefore, everyone should glorify the devotees. Mahaprabhu, though he is the supreme personality of Godhead, still he was glorifying the devotees. So this is very much true, dear devotees, that a person become faster Krishna conscious if he serves or glorify or read or recite the pastimes of devotees actually. So this is so potent. So we'll read one more section and then we'll move to the next book. A Vaishnava keeps his bhava hidden. Khandavasi Mukund Das was a physician in the court of Badshah, the Muslim ruler, but that was only externally engaged in such service. In his heart, he was always thinking of Krishna, because in Krishna Leela, he is Vrinda Devi. Internally, he is a Krishna Premi Bhakta, a very dear devotee of Krishna. One day, there was an incident. Mukund Das was sitting on a chair before the Badshah, the Muslim ruler. Mohammedans were ruling at that time. The Badshah was sitting on his throne. Mukund Das was giving some medical prescription. So they were talking about diseases and medical treatment for them. At that time, a servant of Badshah came with an umbrella made of peacock feathers and held it over the head of the Muslim ruler. As soon as Mukund Das saw the peacock feather, he became ecstatic. because the peacock feather reminded him of Krishna. Because Sikhi Piche Mauli Varashadamsa, only Krishna wears a peacock feather on his crest. No one else can wear a peacock feather. Mukund Das, a Premi Bhakta, seeing the peacock feather, immediately became ecstatic and fainted. He fell from his chair onto the ground. The king thought, what happened to this Vaidya physician? He might have met his death. The Muslim ruler came down from his throne and sprinkled water over Mukunda's face. After some time, Mukunda Das regained consciousness. Then Badshah asked him, what happened to you? Why did you fall down from your seat? You might have been seriously injured. Hearing this, Mukunda said, no, my king, I am not hurt. The Badshah asked, why did you fall? Oh, my lord, I have a disease, Mrigi Vyadhi. That means sometimes my head reels and I fall down. It is nothing more than that. The real fact was that by seeing the peacock feather, he thought of Krishna and his Krishna Prem, love of Krishna, swelled up. He became so ecstatic he could not restrain himself. He forgot his own existence and fell unconscious in ecstasy. However, he did not say that by seeing the peacock feather such bhava came. He kept it hidden. Such a elevated devotee. But that gives a teaching also that whenever we do any good service, we don't need to show off. Sometimes let that good service remain between you and Krishna. We don't need to show off, as Mukunda Das did not do. So we'll stop here. Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj ki Jai. So next we'll read Srila Prabhupada's Leela Mirta for a few minutes. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we were at Developing Mayapur. June 27, 1973. From Mayapur, Srila Prabhupada went to Calcutta. He wrote to Tamal Krishna Goswami. There is a suggestion by Shyam Sundar that I may go to London for meeting very important man there in the new house given us by George. But I want to make some definite settlement of Bombay affairs before I return to Europe or America. If there is a suitable place for me to stay for few days in Bombay, I can go there immediately, and from there I may go to London. While considering his itinerary, Prabhupada passed some days in Calcutta Temple on Albert Road. He was very free about allowing people to see him, and his room was often filled with local Bengalis as well as his own disciples, seated on white sheet before him. In the evening, he would go, even when it meant riding for miles through congested parts of the city, to spend an hour in someone's home preaching Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada's sister Bhavatarini, known as Pisima to Prabhupada's disciples, would also visit Calcutta temple to see her beloved brother and as usual to cook for him. One day, however, a few hours after eating her kachoris, Prabhupada felt sharp pains in his stomach. He closed his doors and went to bed. His followers became very concerned. When his servant Shrutakirti came into the room, he found him tossing. Srila Prabhupada, what's wrong? My stomach, Prabhupada replied. That coconut kachori, it was not cooked. The seizure continued all night, and several devotees continued massage Prabhupada's body, especially his stomach. But with every breath, he would moan. Pisima was standing by, but Prabhupada's disciple feared her presence, thinking she might want to cook something else for him, even in his illness. Prabhupada asked the picture of Lord Narasimha be taken from altar and put beside his bed. Some devotees feared that Prabhupada might be about to pass away. The next morning, when illness continued, the devotees called for the local Kaviraj, Ayurvedic doctor. The old Kaviraj came and diagnosed Prabhupada's illness as severe blood dysentery. He left medicine, but it was ineffectual. Later, when Prabhupada called Bhavananda to his room and requested fried puris with a little patala, an Indian vegetable similar to a small squash, and salt, Bhavananda protested. Such fried foods would be worst thing for him. Prabhupada said that this was the blood dysentery. Prabhupada said that this was the blood dysentery cure his mother had given during his childhood. He then called for his sister and, speaking to her in Bengali, told her to prepare puris and patala. A few hours after taking the food, Prabhupada again called Bhavananda. He was feeling better. My mother was right, he remarked. A lengthy telegram arrived from Shama Sundara, glorifying the preaching opportunities that awaited Prabhupada in London, where he would be picked up at the airport in a helicopter and flown to the main event, the greatest Rath Yatra ever held. The parade would proceed down Piccadilly Lane, climaxing under a large pavilion at a Trafalgar Square. The telegram went on to say the millions of Englishmen, including certain very, very important people, were eager to see Srila Prabhupada, and that arrangements were underway for Prabhupada to instruct the Queen's eldest son, Prince Charles, in Krishna consciousness. Some of the promises were exaggerated. Srila Prabhupada knew, but his desire to preach again in England was strong. George Harrison had given the devotees a large estate 45 minutes outside of London, and Prabhupada spoke of going there and installing deities of Radha Krishna on Janmashtami day. Yet even now, over a month before Janmashtami, he was feeling deeply affected by Shamsundara's invitation. Although still exhausted from dysentery, he considered flying immediately to London. Calling in those GBC secretaries and sannyasis with him in Calcutta, sitting up in bed while they sat before him on the floor. Prabhupada asked their advice. They concluded that he should go to a healthier climate, Los Angeles or Hawaii, to rest and recuperate. Prabhupada mildly agreed as his advisors decided Hawaii would be the best place, a place where climate was ideal and where he would have few interruptions. Suddenly, however, he sat up straighter. He would return to West, he said, but to London, not to Hawaii, and not to recuperate, but to preach. Let me strike while the iron is hot, he said. I think that is an English maxim. If you do that, then you can keep the iron in shape. In the West, people are fed up, so we want to give them spiritual enlightenment. Prabhupada had immediately convinced his disciples with his forceful statements. There are two misleading theories in the West, he continued. One is that life comes from the matter, and the other is that there is no life after death. You can just enjoy this life. They say everything is matter. So this Krishna conscious movement grows. The communist will be cut down. People say they are trying for unity, but they have no brains to see how this will achieve unity. They have formed a big complicated League of Nations and now United Nations, but they all fail. But this simple method of Rath Yatra all over the world, it is spreading. Jagannath means Lord of the universe. So Lord Jagannath is now international God through our ISKCON. Therefore, I want to go to the West and give them these things. Although Prabhupada appeared physically unfit to immediately fly to London to active preaching that awaited him, his disciples submitted, accepting this as another miracle by Krishna. So we'll stop here in the interest of time because I have certain things to take care today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. How much Srila Prabhupada did for all of us. So anybody has any question, comments, realization, chastisement? We'll give 30 seconds and then we'll close the reading. Okay, if nothing else, वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. Thank you all the devotees and please forgive me if I have not recited properly. Thank you very much.